Good evening, Rams, and welcome to Humans of CSU. I'm your host, Emma Iannacone, and tonight I'm joined by Kerriana Tatum and Micaela Parker from the back office Homecoming Pageant. How are you two tonight, ladies?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming here.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about what the Homecoming Pageant is? I know it goes through the Black and African American Cultural Center, but I don't understand, I haven't actually heard of it until this year. So can you tell me a little bit about what it is?
Basically, it's just a pageant that we put on through like CSU. We initially had one of our first Black females do it like years and years ago, and it was an act of protest. And so in doing that, her becoming homecoming queen, we've kind of just like reciprocated that same energy within our office and just created that same energy and environment, like showing how beautiful and diverse and just amazing Black bodies are at this campus, as well as the talents that we possess, and just how amazing CSU has with its Black community here at CSU.
Yeah, I had heard about the talent my freshman year, so I'm a third year. That was 2 years ago, and I didn't really know much about it. I'd heard about the pageant, and then when I found out that it was kind of more like a celebration of Black culture, especially Black culture within CSU, like very specifically, I was like, I guess I'll want to join and participate and represent, of course, and just be a part of that because it has just a history of just good faith within CSU.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great celebration.
For sure.
It is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what does it mean to be in the pageant? How did it feel to be like one of the candidates or participants?
Well, for me, I'd never done any type of pageantry or anything like that before. I was used to more performative stuff like band and choir and whatnot. So being in the pageant was definitely a different direction. I've never done something so individualized or kind of showcased myself. So it was kind of stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something new, and also knowing that it was important for other people to see me and kind of represent well on that stage. So.
Yeah, it definitely was a great experience. We met a lot of great people. We like almost spent like 4 weeks together, like just rehearsing, going over stuff, getting to know each other, seeing each other's talents, and like seeing each other grow. And like when you first go to the initial meeting and like it sounds really scary and you're like, oh, I don't know about all that. Like there's a kind of a big deal. And then like after you get to meet everyone and you see what it's gonna be like, it gives you that confidence, and it really makes you happy to do it, especially because I think this year is the most contestants we've ever had do it. We had 10 contestants, and it was really great because this year we also, well, it started last year, but this year we've decided to be more inclusive. Instead of calling it Mr. and Mrs. like CSU, we call it the Homecoming Royalty Pageant. So that inclusivity within our community is really great as well.
Very nice. So was there a homecoming king this year, or was it just you two ladies?
It
Just
was
us two.
Very nice. Good for you. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved? You said that you'd never done a pageant before, but is that something that you used to do, Micaela?
I used to live in Texas, so pageants are kind of big there, and I've done a couple when I was a kid, but nothing like crucial on the circuit. And I've always everyone always tells me like, oh, you should model, you should do this, and I was never really interested in it. I usually just played sports. And then this year I was like, I told my parents, I was like, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna get more involved. I think it'll be fun. And then my parents were like, all right. And so when I did it, I was like, wow, it was really fun. I'm glad I did it too. But like, it was really rewarding as well to see like all the beautiful talents that we possessed. And like, it was crazy because we talked about it, but it's like a whole different thing seeing everybody's talents like up front and them being confident and us just having a great time. So it was really just a beautiful experience.
That's awesome. So how did it feel when you two won?
Well, I was really not expecting that at all. I didn't know. It was down to, I think, a week left, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for my talent, and I thought it had to be, what pageants are depicted on media. They're often big, flashy, people doing,
Fire juggling.
Yeah, fire juggling, singing, with dancers behind them, and I was like, I can't do any of that. And I was like, within my majors, English, political science, I was like, I can put those together and write a poem and really just kind of be vulnerable in that space and express myself. And so that was just really important to me, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure.
And you also did spoken word poetry?
Yes, I wrote a little spoken word piece. And like Kerriana, I knew, it was kind of weird for me because I won too. And I was like, oh, Oh, so like the first is like the congeniality award, and so it's like within our like group of contestants, we voted like for each other, and I guess I got the most votes, and so that was really cool. I was like, oh, and then like they're like, okay, well, Ram's choice, and like everyone in the crowd was, and they're like, oh yeah, Micaela Parker. I said, what? I was like, oh wow, and I looked at my mom. I was like, Mom, like, what is going on? And then, like, I had too much to carry, and so I was just standing up there. I was like, well, who's next? Because it can't be me.
And I was kind of like, all right, I'm ready to get off the stage.
Right.
I know I'm not gonna.
Her face, she was ready to go. She didn't even, like, hear her name, almost. It was like, she was just like,
For a second.
and she's like, and then you saw her face, but she deserved it so, like, so much. I cried in the back. I didn't mean to, but I was like, wow, that was beautiful. Because we didn't really get to, like, rehearse it, you know, like, see everybody's. And so actually seeing it and, like, her really putting her heart and the soul into it, it was really beautiful. And, like, I was like, wow. Like, it made me cry.
That's awesome. So what were your poetry, because you also did poetry, right? What were your poems about?
Mine was just about kind of seeing the way that societal impacts on like Black girls, Black children, Black hair, Black bodies, and I wanted to kind of express my own experience with that, from being a little girl and then to like growing up and being confident on a stage. Being able to even speak about that was just a really good experience for me. So yeah, putting that together, I was crying while I was writing it, so I was like, hopefully I don't cry on stage. I did, but
You did.
that's okay. I was just really glad that I could have been, you know, I could have done something else, but then chose to elevate myself and get out of my comfort zone, express myself, and put myself forward with a poem that people had told me that it meant so much to them in the Black community and like, you know, their Black siblings, and I thought that was just really important.
That's amazing, yeah. Do something really meaningful.
And for me, I do Air Force ROTC, and coming to a PWI and like making this transition from a predominantly like Black high school to a whole like different situation, it was very like eye-opening for me. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing Air Force ROTC as well. That really was like a culture shock for me, and then recognizing that it's already one thing to be a marginalized like identity in there and being a woman, but then being like a woman of color, that's a whole different like scape. And so I was like, wow, so navigating through those spaces, it really like has really helped me like figure out who I am and what I like want to do at CSU and the person I want to become. And so I just kind of continued to write my poems like day by day, and kind of just like I write journals, so I just kind of took excerpts from my journal and said, you know what, I feel like this is like needs to be heard, or people can connect to this, or people can identify with this. And so that's kind of what I did. And I mean, I broke a podium in the process, so that was must have been powerful in some way.
You broke a podium?
Yeah, it was pretty. Towards the end, and it was I was like already, the podium was already not right, so I was like, I was looking at the tech people. I was like, help, like, what's going on? And they were like not looking. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, good thing I memorized it, so I didn't even look at it. I was just looking, making the eye contact with the crowd, and then towards the end, like literally like the last little excerpt, it just broke, like the whole thing just broke, and I was like, okay.
Power of the word.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I'm glad I did it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on tonight, ladies. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. But up next, we will have we have a look at one of the on-campus clubs and an interview with more CSU royalty.